to be a hard copy, like an advertisement. I'm not sure where I stand, and so for me, I prefer this kind of environment when I'm talking to people. So, but it's up to you. But what it does, what you're doing is you want them to hear. You want your idea to be heard. Okay, and that's where you're going right now. And hopefully they say to you, hey, send me a summary. Come back and give me the full summary and the pitch. But another thing that it's very important, and I want to make sure you see this. It's in the second page, and this is really, really important when you're doing any kind of investment pitch. Certainly to investors, family, maybe you're selling an LLC like Lewis is trying to do right now, or whatever it may be. These are the most important things. There's the people that you are talking about your business opportunity. They have two things on their minds that you really need to answer. That's greed and fear. Those are the most important areas of interest to an investor. And the reason why I say that, and it stands right here. You'll have a successful interaction if you can get them excited about your potential to make money. That's the greed, right? And if you quiet their fear, the risk. So if you quiet the risk, then you're taking care of the other area of need for an investor. That's the fear. So, in order to accomplish the two things, you must anticipate questions that they're going to ask you, and be ready to answer them confidently. That's why I created the 12-point plan. Is every point you have here every point is a question that an investor is going to have in their mind. Okay? So this is what this is doing. This is answering those questions. You're trying to take care of those two areas of need. Okay? The fear area and the greed area. Okay? Does that make sense? So that's why I put this together, just to give you an idea. I just want to make sure you had that understanding. And I'm not going to go through the PowerPoint slide, but so the pitch, I'll explain what each one means in here for you, in case you can't read it, because the type is so doggone small. But so in the outline itself, the first, after your pitch, I always ask you, you have to tell, who are you? And it's important for an investor to know, who are you? Why should I even listen to you? What's the reasoning? What's the history here? So, you have the company name, the founders or the owners. Why is it so important? What makes this so valuable? Why should I even go any further than listening to you? So every page and slide is a valuable real estate in this presentation. Okay, so even the first slide, which is what we're talking about, you want to make sure that you display boldly, on each slide, like you see me doing here, and you'll see my presentation, where you're going and what you're talking about. Okay, so it's who you are for me, and I'll do a presentation, and I show it over here for you. I wrote it right here. I'm currently working as a successful culinary coach and chef in the city of Claremont Village. I have a 15-year following, and it's a very good client base. I am also a general manager for the establishment I work with. I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur. At heart, in fact, as a general manager and coach, I operate as an independent contractor so that I can keep my freedom available. I keep my freedom available for the next step in my business life. Without any restrictions, I can keep my client following right now. That's key, isn't it? Fulfill my goal and dream about opening my own establishment. The key there is, what am I telling them? I'm coming with a client base, right? So customers love the quick service, one-stop options that are currently being offered in many areas of service. Quality and service added to the fully organic food offering. Key word again, in a high-end price point area. I'm doing organic product. Creates a higher customer traffic. My service helps build the egos of the clients coming in. When they leave, they feel healthy and part of the overall good sustainability, overall goal of sustainability, and to feel fabulous about themselves. It truly is a positive feeling when they come through my doors. So what am I doing? I'm helping the customer feel good. But I'm talking to investors. But that's generally what I'm doing. My goal is to fulfill two things: a QSR in the area, and secondly, fulfill the need of sustainability, healthiness, etc. So I'm fulfilling those needs in that particular target market. May not be the same need in South Central LA, but it is for that target market. Okay. So, and the reason why I say that is I had to bring more gardening and stuff in there right now. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. Anyhow, so anyhow, that was my business plan for my current occupation. Who am I? What do I do? So that's kind of important to me. And it's important to an investor too. So then I go into this third step, which is, what's the need? What need am I fulfilling? And if you read on here, you'll see you have to be specific. You have to be clear. You have to be relevant. You have to be a good listener to hear what they're saying. I think I'm right here. No, I'm one further. I'm right here. How is the need relevant, like I just mentioned, to the customer? The best idea is a need that finds a solution, not a solution that searches for a need. Always keep that in mind. It'll be a lot easier to sell a product if you're creating a solution to a need. That's kind of like very important in anything you do in business. So, if you're not sure you're doing that, you might want to rethink what you're doing. But if you are doing that and you're not even aware of it, you may be doing it, you're not even aware of it. But then you might be finding yourself searching for that need. So you need to keep that. You have to have a need. That how are you going to grow if you're not fulfilling a need of someone? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's very important. I just want to make sure. So your goal is for the listeners to say, yes, I'll buy that, right? Because you're fulfilling my need. Yes, I want that sustainable, all healthy wheat slider with organic tri-tip on it, and I'll pay $5.50 for that little tiny slider, but I know that's going to work in that environment because I know the marketplace. I did my homework. I know that clientele. So on my business plan, what I wrote here, because each one, by the way, you're going to find the outline, an explanation why I think it's important, and a sample of I took out of my business plan idea. It's just a business plan I came up with. I'm not really selling this, okay? But to show you how I was able to put it together with some semblance of reality in a certain point, okay? And need. So Claremont Village is a growing destination point for many people offering high price points to the services offered. That's key, right? So already I'm at a high price point. Everybody knows what a price point is, I'm assuming, right? That a price point is what you're selling your product at, where you're making a profit, and what the person's got. There's two areas of price points. One is a distributor, and the second would be the final buyer. I'm at the final buyer, so my price point is the final price that I'm making money on. So it could be I'm making 40%, 60%, whatever it may be. That's the price point. That's called a price point so I am getting high price points. So if I took that slider to I don't know, let's say the other end of Ontario, I'm not going to get $4.50 or $5 for it. I'm going to get $3 for it. But if I take it to Claremont, I'm going to get $4.50 for it. So when you guys go to a farmer's market, like she's like, I finally got in to Pasadena. South Pasadena. You know why? Pasadena. Why that's important to her? The price points are so much higher. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's very important to understand that in your plan where you're going to be with those price points. Okay, so for me, I mean, it's like, and then I use a key word like on here. With the advent of theaters, added parking, growing shopping, restaurant selections, and the need for a couple of added healthy, quick food venues, which are called QSRs, by the way. That's the new thing, QSRs. You see them all over the place now. QSRs, when like that little, I guess it's a Chinese restaurant that P.F. Chang owns. It's a little one. They have one over here. I don't recall the name of it. You walk in, you go in, everything's on multimedia boards. They could change it. You go in, boom, you order what you want, you buy your drink. It could be a beer, a wine, whatever. And you go over there, you sit down with your little doodad that says number 5, and then they come in with fresh food. That's called a QSR. So that's a quick service restaurant. Okay? So that's what I'm doing, a QSR in this plan. Okay? Just so you know. I could have done a product that I have, but I actually did this plan. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. I had a 2-year contract with a builder, and we actually did this in a kiosk, one of those old photomat kiosks in Claremont. Okay? Okay? So that's where this all came from, okay? Just to see what kind of value it would have if they reconstructed the whole facility, okay? So it was a 2-year contract that I ran for them. Anyhow, so in fact, in the city of Claremont currently experience a short of restaurant venues available at this time. Because of the level of customer income Claremont Village brings in as a destination. Now, you guys understand destination, right? It's like going to a mall. You go to a mall, you could spend all day in a mall. Well, in Claremont, it's a destination. They want to do their hair. They want to buy stuff. They want to do their nails, or the men want to go have a sports bar drink. And they're there. I mean, people are there on the weekends almost, 8 hours sometimes. In the evenings, 6 hours. So it's a destination. That's what I mean. That's why I targeted this town. Okay? It was very important for me to be in a destination. So anyhow, and that's part of my business plan. As a product, if you're doing a product, I'm going to sway off a little bit because I have a product called, what's it called?
Your sauce.
My sauce. It's called, what is it called? I don't even know what it's called. It's called, no, it's called Chef Jorge's
steak sauce.
No, it's from the South, Bootleggers. It's called Bootleggers. And so my Bootleggers sauce, I have 3 flavors. I have Cajun, I have White Lightning, and then I have Mule Kick, and I have all the old terms from back then are the names of my sauces, okay? So I have this concept, and this concept is going to go into, my target market is going to be high-end. It costs me nothing. It's vinegar, okay? It's cold pressed. It says cold pressed. You know why? Because I don't cook it. I put all the peppers and stuff in a jar with the vinegar and I let it sit for a month in the refrigerator. So it's cold brewed, right? So now, but listen to what I'm doing. I have a cold brew product, very simple, nice labeling. The leftover that I get from the 3 sauces, I create a rub, and I call it Mule Kick. So the Mule Kick is a rub. Okay. Right. So what am I doing here? I'm creating this concept. My focus is going to be, if I decided to do this, would be Whole Foods, Bristol Farms, all the high-end stuff. Because I'm going to make, if I sell a jar, I'm going to make, probably 80% on that. If I can sell enough of them, because it's easy to make and I have no waste. My point being is that I could take the same plan and do the same thing. My goal, my market is a growing market, Whole Foods, high price point. They're going to love my sauce because it's cold press and nobody does cold press. I'm the only one doing cold press sauces because I invented the damn thing, right? So I'm fulfilling a need because hot sauces are a $10 billion a year market. But there's so many out there that if you really want to get in the market, you have to come up with a new idea. You have to come up with a new concept. Otherwise, no one will put it on the shelf. So anyhow, back to this one. So I just want to let you know. Oh, see? He has a hot sauce. See? He's got his hot sauce going. See? Yeah. So, but he's going to have to do the same thing. He's going to have to go after a high. I think he already does, actually. You probably have a high price point going.
Just to give you an example, for breakfast before I came over, I was putting it on my eggs. The waiter tried it and bought a bottle.
See?
$12.95.
For $12.95 for basically a bottle of vinegar.
And it's going to become cold press.
I know. No, he actually cooks it. He cooks it and.
I don't want to be vinegar.
Yeah, but I mean, about the product, the base of the product, the reason why it's a safe product, you could actually make that at home if you wanted to, is because you have vinegar in it. I'm assuming you do at least.
Yeah, my pH is like 3.8.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, it's good. So anyhow, so back to my QSR though, the higher value is a case in point that I want to take advantage of. I want to take advantage of that high price point. And this is the best opportunity I found that is, that brings success to my goal of fully opening a fully organic grab-and-go drive-through service. By the way, the name of my company is Munchies Grab-and-Go Drive-Through, okay? So it's called Munchies, okay? Munchies Grab and Go, all organic, baby.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
So anyway,
How do we invest in that?
I'll let you know in the future. We'll get back to you on that. See, already, look, I already got a seller. I'm only on 0.3. Okay, so anyhow, so the next is what's your market? Okay, where am I here? Is this what's your market? I can't read. No, it's what's your, oh here, what's your market? I'm on 5. Okay, so what's your market? To whom will I be selling or provide a service to? What is the size of the market base? That's important, by the way. How do you know that, how well do I know the customers? How do you validate the market and customer demand? What makes you confident? Now, all these questions I'm going to have here, but if somebody's really interested to know, in the back, I'm going to have all that information in the back for them. It'll be there, my research. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to bore them to death, and I'll never get to point 12, So this is more about giving them the answers to what they want to hear. If they want that information, after you talk about it, it's at the end of the presentation or in the back of the pamphlet you gave them. Or they'll go into the back when you're done and ask. Okay? So this is not like an SBA loan where you have to have everything in front of them and like they're going to go throw it in the trash. I'm telling you, that's what they're going to do. So this is the best way to go about it. Okay? So it's important, your knowledge of the demographics, the size of the market base, growth rate trends, validation of market and customer demand, high points of your research and demographics. Yes?
How do you determine the size of your market base?
Well, you can act. I'm sorry?
Is it based nationally?
No. For me, for this particular market, I just went online and looked up all the age demographics,
Well, so
the income.
You defined your market first.
I defined
That was
my
why.
market, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not all over the country. And if I go back to my sauce, I'm still defining my market specific to that customer. It's almost the same as this customer.
So it's just the customer demographic.
Yeah.
It's not like
The customer,
people bought or how many for that. Or what the sales are of hot sauces in the country.
no. Well, that's important, yes. I do that. Yes, I did that. With my hot sauce, I did find out, I know that it's a $10 billion and growing. I know that. I know that QSRs, I did my research on QSRs. I know they're the fastest growing segment in restaurant business right now. Okay? They are the fastest. I mean, you can buy magazines on it now. QSRs. I mean, it's called QSR magazine, So, yeah, I did that research, yes. And they may ask that, and it'll be in the back of my business plan. So it's not like, there isn't some work you need to do. If you didn't do that in the first place, why are you in the business? You should know who your market is. If you don't, you need to start working on that and see who your competitors are. It's kind of important. And then I made a judgment call. I knew that by going into Claremont, just like she knows by going into South Pasadena, there's a market with demographics it's already known. It's easy pickings, So if I leave outside of Southern California with a hot sauce, that's not as easy pickings. I don't think a hot sauce is going to sell quickly in upstate New York, at the Whole Foods in Albany. I know it's going to do well out here. So, you have to really know your market. And I forget what your product is.
Chocolate truffles.
So, and you have a product that, a great product, by the way, I know his product. And you have a product that, for me, I think would be great in a I would be doing a model of kiosks. Personally, on a high-end area, if you could afford to make it work. But that's what I would do, because it's a good model. You can get, you already have the information in front of you. You have 3 people that are so successful doing it right now, it's ridiculous. So you could put together a plan on a model that you see almost every day if you walked in here. You see what I mean? So if that's not going to work for you, then you find a model that you can follow and work with, and then grow out of that. So from here, you know, I have a kiosk. The growth on this would be opening something where I'm not making the food at Chef Center any longer. You know, this here, I'm making the food at Chef Center. We're at this. You can't make anything in a photo booth. Okay. Okay. So I mean, but we made it in a place like this, and we brought it there and we sold it. So I know that that model works because I've played that model before. So anyway, but that's just. That's your thing, you know. But I'm just looking. I only know your product from a couple times of seeing it. So, but back to this. So here's my market. Okay, Claremont is an above-average income community and has become a destination for many outside of the community. Now I'm taking it a little further. Now it's a destination not only in Claremont but outside the community as well. Destination customers want to have more options when visiting the village area, i.e. lunch shopping. We already went through that. The Claremont Village has to offer many options to fulfill these customer needs. Currently, the Claremont customers tend to want to stay for most of the day. These are information I got from the chamber, by the way.
I'm not around here. Claremont Village, is it a mall or is it?
No, Claremont Village is a town. It's the last city in LA County. And you follow the 210. It's in between the 210 and the 10. So it's north of the freeway. Anything north of the freeway is going to give you higher price points. If you're not aware of that, you should make yourself aware of that, okay?
And it's a university.
And it has 6 or 7 colleges in the town. So it's a college town.
You have an informed buyer.
You have an informed buyer. And you have a buyer that you know, a lot of sports figures live in the town. Some actors live in the town. We have, what's that rapper? There's a rapper that's very famous that lives there. He runs football teams now.
Well, and it also has.
No.
It also has a.
Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg lives there. Okay.
It also has a very clear community identity.
Yes.
And I think that's important.
Yes. There's a very clear, in fact, when I go through this, you'll find out that my buyers during the week are Claremont. 70%, and we'll go into that, it's Claremont. Weekends, 75% are people coming in as a destination. It makes a U-turn, a complete circle from week to weekend. It's very, very interesting. And the place is always packed, but the locals usually don't go into the village for more than an hour or so on weekends. It's mainly because of the theater and the restaurants and the this and the that. So, anyhow, and I don't know. Oh, it's on here actually. So let's get into this. Is important. My current client customer expect quality and service, healthy options, and they have money to spend. Okay. The growth potential is enormous. This is a perfect time to get in, certainly as a fast follower. Now, what do I mean by fast follower? A fast follower establishments have a success rate 3 times higher than that of an original innovator that comes into a target market. And what that means is that you're taking the knowledge from someone who's already successful, someone who was not so successful, and why weren't they so successful, and why were they successful to a certain point. So fast following is the most successful way of marketing your products. You always want to research, and let me tell you, you're not the only competition out there. If you think you are, don't tell that to an investor because they're going to think you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, there is competition. There is somebody doing something similar to what you're doing, trying to attract the same market. And there's people that are successful and there are people that aren't. And if you can learn from both sides of that party, you're going to become more successful. And fast following. The most famous fast follower in the world right now is Apple. Oh. Apple's all their ideas are from someone else's idea that failed. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. Some of the things that they have out there were out there 10 years ago or something, and then the company failed. So fast following has made some people very, very successful, not only in our level, but in the corporate level as well. So just to keep that, it's good to know that. I'm a real big believer in fast following, okay? The Claremont Village, and I don't know did I miss Maslow's, let me see if I missed Maslow. Did we see Maslow's hierarchy of needs yet? Because my marketing plan is also based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So hopefully I didn't miss it. Anyhow, the Claremont Village market growth is enormous, and this is where I was talking about. Not only is the market attracting customers from the community, but also from the local community, but also not from the surrounding community, but also from the local community. 70% of the customers during the week are locals. 75% during the 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are people from outside the community, the surrounding community. So I know my market. So I know I'm gonna do more business. I'm gonna do great business with the local market because I'm gonna be involved with them, marketing wise, and I'll show you how. But I'm gonna do great business on the weekend because everybody's gonna be hungry, and as soon as they know there's some good food there and it's healthy, what have you, they're gonna want to buy. So I have and by the way, this really, really worked. I mean, people actually came for healthy foods. It was I was selling a salad. I think I had the menu, like a little tiny salad. It was like $3 or $3 something for a little tiny salad with a $3-4. It was like ridiculous, but people bought them. But I mean, it wasn't ridiculous as far as, for me it was because I know what it took to make it. Mixed greens, I could buy a box of mixed greens for $10 and serve 50 people. So I know that. So anyway, the growth potential for an established is so great that after myself and a couple other competitors get established, the city is putting up a barrier to any fast food service venues, new ones after that. In fact, this venue will be the last and only drive-through venue in Claremont Village area, and it's true. It's the only one. So you see what I did is I took advantage of. I researched, and I'm taking advantage of that area, and it was only because a developer asked me, "What can we do here? What do you think?" And I sat down and banged my head a while and came up with this concept. So that's that was, what was that? The market? That was the market. Okay. So where am I?
So are you doing this, Jorge?
No, I actually, it was a 2-year contract, and we sold the whole concept in Pomona to a museum, and they had the concept in their museum. Whenever they open, they sell munchy stuff. Oh. Yeah, so it helps that Pomona area for them. So the contractor still hasn't done anything though it's still it's not the building is empty, but they haven't really made a decision how they want to market it yet. So yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
So funny, I had visions and you said it was going to be organic munchies.
Yeah.
How is it going to store all the food? It's all organic. It's all has to be refrigerated. I can see now big lines.
I had refrigerators, and that's all that was in there.
Yeah.
Refrigerators and racks, and a register, and one person working it. And I had high school kids working it. And they had all their high school friends coming in, and they had the college coming in, and so yeah, it was pretty trippy, man. It was like, but I've always wanted to do something with that, they're always sitting around empty, or they make them into some kind of a water vat. Some water or locksmith, yeah. Okay, anyhow, so what's the product? So this is kind of important. The solution to the need, okay, is the product, right? So what does it do? What it does for is far more important than how it does it, okay? So if someone wants the technical ideas, they may ask, you have to get to the back of the end of it. Wait till you're done with your presentation, okay? a lot of this stuff you wouldn't have to worry about technical deals when we're dealing with food. It's not necessary, right? If you're doing something in a different type of business, this plan will work in any kind of business, by the way. So that's why it gets into certain areas that may not interest you. But the most important is product. What need does it meet? What benefit does it provide? Service, if you're doing a service, how will it be supported? The price, optimal pricing balances, willing to pay the volume of demand. Pricing is an art. That's why you should come to the next seminar on pricing. It's an art, okay? And don't be afraid. You know, he'll tell you this, by the way, and if you remember the last seminar he did, he says, if they're not complaining, so, oh, you know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. It's always easier to go down than it is to go up, so. Or, you know what I'm saying? Anyhow, how does the customer get it and or receive the product? And how does it feel to use? That's important. How does it feel to use? That was a very important question for me. So my answer to them, the product was the product and service will be based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So now I'm really like, wow, this guy really thought about this plan now, didn't he? Right? The area of ego. Ego is a person's need for self-esteem, power, recognition, and prestige. People with money want to show their level of prestige. Okay? So, what am I saying? I will be targeting ego-based clientele. These are people who have the growing need to fulfill one's health. This target is willing to show off their ability to eat healthy and to have the best. My service, knowledge, and quality will help them build their egos. Okay? They will be willing to pay the higher price points and say that they eat only quality, organic, and sustainable fast foods at my Claremont establishment. A quality product and service is a must. It will come first in my establishment. Okay? The grab and go will be designed in the target market in mind, retro modern, with appropriate lighting, colors, styles, equipment, the latest equipment, and we'll be offering only organic sliders, salads, snacks, and wraps. That's it. Nothing else. We're not going to be offering, a 20-pound menu. 4 things, maybe 3 different flavors. That's it. Okay? Yeah.
There's an interview I heard on NPR about the guy who started it. Naysayers. They said, how are you going to, no one's going to pay $2
Right.
for this little candy, and, how do you justify that? He said, premium price for premium product. That was his answer.
Yeah.
And Red Bull just totally broke up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Red Bull is like, yeah. I mean, but they had a good goal in his mind. Well, another good example is the guy with the Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he started with nothing. It took him 1.5 2 years to come up with his idea. He took his time. Now he's a multi-billion company selling Greek yogurt. Come on now, give me a break. Now everybody has to have Greek yogurt. Why? Because it's thicker? I don't know. I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? He had his market established, he had his packaging, he had his idea. He knew it's a yogurt nobody was using. Everybody was that runny yogurt stuff. His was thick. You could put it on stuff. You can use it on a potato. You could create all these new healthy ideas with the use of it, and that's what he did. Yeah. So anyhow, and he gets a higher price point for the same product. It's not any different than anybody else's. I mean, it's the same ingredients. He just manufactures it a little bit differently. Maybe the curds, he lets them grow a little more. But he's getting probably a 30% higher price point than anybody else for Greek yogurt.
But Mr. Cherdashi,
Yeah.
that thing that it's like Tabasco sauce.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And chefs even, call it like a staple ingredient.
Well, that's advertisement. I used to work with Vic Firth, and I had a line of grinders and stuff, Chef Jorge grinders. Anyways, I did that as a project with them, and anytime a restaurant came up on a show where they Vic Firth grinder. That's why you see that all the time. They just have a great marketing campaign. Yeah. So, and you'll see that with different products and different television shows. That's all marketing. You don't think they mentioned that without getting money for it? And if they do mention it, they have to get approval.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way street on that. So that's
But I heard it was, it's like not even a Vietnamese stuff.
no, it's not. I think
Developed it in Montebello.
yeah, it's a California product.
10 million
Yeah.
a month or something.
Yeah, he sells a lot of that stuff. Good marketing can. Well, it was inexpensive. It came in a little tube. That Topatilla is another thing. Very inexpensive sauce. Whoever owns that has to sell millions of bottles to make money. He can't be making more than a couple pennies a bottle on that, 3 pennies, because he's at $1 a bottle with packaging. So he's totally quantity based. His business plan is quantity based. I have to sell 1 million jars a year to make $1 million. And he's doing it. I mean, you find him everywhere, including 99-cent store. So, yeah, so anyhow, so I will hire an assistant and handle the day-to-day operations. She will be added the face to the establishment. I'm going to pay good money to have a good face to my establishment. I'm not going to just put any schmo in the front door. It has to be somebody that I can trust that I'm willing to pay more to, that's going to represent me at the front of house. That's very important. Certainly when I'm getting a high price point and I want to continue getting that, then you have to pay for that. So as long as I make my 8 to 10% profit, whatever my profit is after all my costs, enough to reinvest and grow, I'm going to be happy. Maybe 20%. If it's 20%, I'll be dancing on, I don't know, somewhere. but the moon, yeah. But anyhow, so I even have my hours. Look, I'll be open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., 10 to 10 on Friday and Saturdays, 11 to 6. We will have a part-time college help to help service the drive-through window, walk-throughs, walk-ins throughout the day. This product will be created at the Chef Center. So this tells them, because that answers everybody's question. Well, kiosk, how are you going to do? Can't make anything in a kiosk. Chef Center, which is obviously a legal facility that I can run a kiosk out of, okay? Legally. Made fresh daily by my assistant chef. The added bonus is that I'll be creating a business to build an added customer base, leading to added more traffic. Not to forget, generating extra income from the local businesses as well. So I'm trying to throw in there that it's not a one-man plan. I do have other areas of growth that I'm looking at, and I'll get into that as well. But so now we're talking, that was the product, right? Now we're talking the operations plan. And this is kind of important. The operations plan is basically how you're operating the company, and basically, I know a lot of people don't take it seriously, but you will as time goes by. You don't have to get too overwhelming on it, but if you have an investor, they may want to know, your goals and how you achieve them, your proof of principle, development, production, marketing and promotion and distribution is going to kind of be important. If you have an investor, how you distributing this product. Certainly if it's a product you're selling. This is very important, and this is what I focused on in my plan. I thought this was the most important thing to talk to an investor about, and that was marketing and sales. Everybody mixes this up. They're two different items. You have to keep that in mind. Marketing is promoting and generating interest, right? Sales is a customer actually buying the product. The revenue, it creates revenue. Without a sale, you have nothing. So marketing brings the people in the door. Someone inside needs to know how to sell the customer. You have to remember that, okay? There are two different plans. So keep that in mind. A lot of people mix that. Even this facility mixes that up. I'm always like, marketing brings them in. When you come in and we do the tours, it sells them. When they know that we did the 5, 7, 6-step plan, they're like, wow, you guys get to do a lot for free. It sells them, right? I mean, coming in the door is one thing, but selling is another. So you always keep that, and I have that argument all the time here, by the way. It's hard for people to see that difference. And but we work hard at it here, and you need to work hard at it on your own, okay? When you have a business, it's important. And obviously, sales projections, you have to have a realistic assumptions, and I'll show you some, okay? I'll give you I think I have them in here, realistic assumptions of what I would, see as growth in my sales. Anyhow, and it explains that, okay? An operating plan is a simple plan for what you will do to get the necessary work done in what order, and in what timeline, okay? Details like resources, people, funding, all those important things of operating a business, basically, and you can read through that. I'll tell you, here's my plan. Here's how I put the concept together in my mind, okay, when I wrote this plan. The most important area of focus will be the guest services area. The assistant and myself will be responsible for the sales of the establishment. So now I'm telling the investor, we understand sales here. We're going to do what we have to do. A large percentage of our growth will be from the drive-through, as well from phone orders, internet orders, and walk-up customers. And by the way, the phone orders and stuff like that, we're pretty busy. Once people knew that, we had the colleges. Can I have like 50 sliders for our, they'd be doing a seminar or something, So a large percentage, so we went to that. Anyway, we will have to make our new clients feel comfortable and willing to spend money for the product and service we offer. Our goal is you walk in that door, you're going to feel good about coming in there, and you're going to feel good when you leave. That's our goal, okay? I estimated 2,000 customers per month on an average of $15 in spending. From my current customer base or following. So this is based on my current customer base. All right. So I took my presentation is based on numbers that I see happening in Claremont. So running a business in Claremont, I took those numbers and I applied them to this. Okay. So you would have to take the same thing if you decide to go into Bristol Farms or whatever these people are called, Whole Foods. You're going to go in there and you're going to do price checks. What are they selling this at? You're going to sit there and put your product next to it, take a picture. How's it going to come off the shelf? You're going to do all those things to find out if you can get the same price points they're getting at the same, if not higher. Who knows? But that's what you should be doing with a product. That's what I would do. When I did Better Than Bullion, when the package design was finished, I literally went to Ralph's, or I think it wasn't called Ralph's, it was called Hughes before they sold. I went to Hughes Market because they wanted the product, we were trying to get in there. I actually moved all the stuff out and took pictures of it. So I could see what it looked like, and we got a higher price point. There was another guy doing the same product, but it wasn't very packaged very well. And he was a local chef, and he was in Bond, Pavilions and Hughes, and we literally, after I did that, and took it in, he was gone. And we were at a higher price point on top of all that. So we did our homework, right? So anyhow, so I knew what my prices were going to be at that point. I will be creating a catering menu that will be offered to the local colleges and businesses for luncheons, special events, etc. That added revenue from catering is a conservative estimate. And by the way, always use conservative when you talk to an investor. Okay, this is a conservative estimate of $4,000 per month. Why am I saying conservative? Because it could be more. I'm not going to say it could be less, right? So it's conservative. One added note is that I will only hire quality, knowledgeable employees and pay a quality price. That's my goal. Okay, I mean, for me, that would be important. If I have to raise my price up to get my price points, or get to cover my costs, whatever I can get the market to bear, I will. Because your variable costs are an area where you can create more income. You can adjust that, where the cost of food, the cost of employees, how many employees you use, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's where your adjustments usually come from, other than raising the price on this side. So if I'm going to do quality, I need to make sure that I'm really in sync with my price points and making sure that I can cover those costs. And by me doing it over here and making the food here, I'm already cutting a lot of my costs out. other than the rent.
Did you end up with more than 250 customers a day?
No. Over there for that one? No, that was about 250 or so.
That seems kind of high. 2,000 customers
A week?
a week. That's
Not in Claremont.
250 to 300 a day.
That's not in Claremont, that isn't.
Did you get that?
Yeah. Huh?
How did you get that information?
Because I happen to know a lot of the business people there, and I got some numbers from them. All you have to do is, hey, so what kind of sales do you do here? I mean, you go into the Starbucks in Claremont, it's a non-stop row of people of 10 minimum from when they open until almost they close. As kids doing homework and this and that. I mean, it's non-stop. It's the bakery in Claremont, non-stop. You go and get a slider at the bakery in Claremont, you're waiting 20 minutes. And there's people willing to wait for a stupid slider, and they're selling this egg slider for $2.50. It's an egg slider, little tiny thing with some pesto on top.
But that's during the lunch hour, so
No, that's breakfast.
that's breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
So,
breakfast.
but did they get that kind of number, that number of customers in a day?
Oh, easily.
Okay.
Easily. That place, easily. Yeah, I see a minimum 200 clients walk in there between. I sit there and we have a coffee club there. It's a nonprofit that we run out of the coffee shop, by the way. Really, it's true. We just did the film festival in Claremont, and we run the whole thing out of the coffee shop. So anyhow, that's our office. So anyhow, minimum 200 people in a 3-hour time when we're there.
Wow.
Minimum. Yeah. Yes.
I understand what you, in terms of, the demographics
Right,
and all of that.
yeah.
Do you get it through the Chamber of Commerce?
You could do that, or you could just go on the internet. I've found tons of it. They'll even give you pie charts. You can get what the ethnicity is, how many people are married, how much they make. The census was just done. It's all fresh, new information. So everything in there is brand new from the census.
Yeah, even an area of the LA Times has a good breakdown there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at housing in areas, it breaks down
The income,
of different
buying
areas.
power. It even gets into education, which is very important in our price point system. Education is huge. So if you have a high income, high education, chances are you're going to do very well in that community with product. Yes. Wait a minute. I think he had.
Okay, I wanted to mention that I get a lot of data from the online public library.
Yeah.
LA Library. They've got a section, commerce section, where
Yeah.
you can get a lot of good
Yeah.
industry information.
I just drop in local demographics for Claremont. Pops right up.
I was doing research for my business plan for this hot sauce,
Mhm.
and I found a company online. All they do is do reports on
Yeah.
statistics. I just roll or something like that.
Yeah, and it's free.